authentic soldier who fights war and peace, Sister Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, come forward, please.
Aloha. Good morning. Reverend Jackson, thank you so much for inviting me here to join you. I saw him at the South Carolina Democratic Convention, and he said, "You got to come to Chicago this weekend." I said, "Roger that. I'll be there." Bishop Horace Smith, thank you so much for hosting us here in your church, for your leadership and service and your kind hospitality. I appreciate the leadership that all of you bring here this weekend. A leadership focused on justice, on service, and on fighting for people, fighting for humanity, fighting for our planet. Now, I grew up in Hawaii, and I grew up in a multi-faith family. My dad's Catholic, and my mom's Hindu. I'm the fourth of 5 kids, and at night we would often hear bedtime stories from both the New Testament as well as the Bhagavad Gita. And the core message that I got from both of these scriptures was the message of love for God and love for others. One of my favorite verses comes from Matthew chapter 22. I know you know this well. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like unto it, to love your neighbor as yourself. So in Hawaii, you hear a lot about aloha. We greet each other with aloha, but it's not because it's a word that means hello or goodbye. It's a word that is so much more powerful. Aloha is love. So when I greet you with aloha, what I'm saying is that I come to you with an open heart, with love, with respect, with compassion, and a recognition that we are all God's children. We are all connected. And there is so much strength that comes from that aloha, that love, that cannot ever be mistaken for weakness. Because there's no force more powerful than love. It's not just a feeling, it's a force that motivates us to take action, to take care of one another, to fight for those we love. It's love that drives a firefighter to go and run into a burning building to save the life of a total stranger. It's love that drives a mother to run into oncoming traffic to save the life of her child. It's love that inspires a soldier to put their life on the line, out of love for our people and love for our country. It is that love that inspires us to take care of each other. It is that love that has the power to heal our wounds, to build those bridges, to cross those divides, and to unite us as one people, as one nation. Now, Dr. King came and visited Hawaii in 1959. And while he was there, he shared some powerful words. He said to our state legislature, "We look to you for inspiration as a noble example, where you have already accomplished in the area of racial harmony and racial justice what we are struggling to accomplish in other sections of the country." He said, "You can never know what it means to those of us who are caught for the moment in the tragic and often dark midnight of man's inhumanity to man, to come to a place where we see the glowing daybreak of freedom and dignity and racial justice." When he left Hawaii and he went home, he said, "As I looked at those various faces in various colors mingled together like the waters of the sea, I could see only one face, the face of the future." Now, his call to action to all of us was very clear, that we will stand together, and together we will get to that promised land. He called for us to stand united in that love, motivated by that care for each other to build that bright future together. And we have no time to waste. As the Reverend mentioned, I serve as a major in the Army National Guard, and I've served as a soldier for over 16 years and deployed twice to the Middle East, and my first deployment was to Iraq in 2005, which was during the height of the war, where we saw the high human cost of war every single day. Our camp where we were based was about 40 miles north of Baghdad and was nicknamed Mortaritaville because of the daily mortar attacks that we endured. But there was a big sign at one of the main gates to our camp that I saw within the first couple of days of getting there. And in big block letters, that sign read, "Is today the day? Is today the day?" It was a stark reminder every single day that we were there that any day could be our last. And it was a reminder. It was a reminder for me to ask myself, what am I doing with my life? How am I making the most of the time that I have? And that reality that we face there is the same reality that each of us faces here. That same question is the same question we must ask ourselves, because we have no time to waste. There is so much at stake because our brothers and sisters are suffering, struggling just to survive, dealing with a so-called healthcare system that's actually a sick care system. A healthcare system that's built so that big insurance and big pharmaceutical companies can fulfill their greed and exploit the sick just to expand their profits. We have families who are being torn apart, lives who are being ruined by a failed war on drugs and a broken criminal justice system that favors the rich and punishes the poor. We have greedy corporations who are polluting our land, who are poisoning our water, who are polluting the air that we breathe with no concern for our health, our children, or our future. We have too many leaders who have for so long been dragging us into these wasteful regime change wars, one after the other, costing us so many lives, taking trillions of dollars out of every one of our pockets to pay for these wasteful wars, to pay for this new Cold War and arms race, dollars that belong here in rebuilding our own communities. And this is why I'm running for president, to end this insanity, to end these wasteful regime change wars, this new Cold War and arms race, and make sure that our precious resources, your taxpayer dollars, are going back into investing and serving your needs, serving the needs of our people. Because you deserve a president who will fight for you, who will put your interests ahead of the rich and powerful, who will put the interests of the people ahead of profits, people ahead of politics, who will fight for the people and our planet above all else. I'll bring a soldier's heart to the White House, bringing these values of service above self, the principles of respect and honor, integrity and courage to the presidency, so that our White House can be the beacon of light that it must be for every single American. As we usher in a new century of peace and prosperity, where you and your children, your loved ones, can live free from fear of a nuclear war, and where any American who is sick can get the care that they need, where every one of us can have clean air to breathe and clean water to drink, where every one of us is treated equally, regardless of the color of our skin or the way we worship or who we love. So I'm here asking you to join me in building this new century that truly fulfills the promise of our country, that promise of freedom and justice and equality for every single American. In Hawaii, we say, ke akua me ke aloha, which means God bless you. And God bless America. Thank you so much. Aloha. Thank you.